Welcome back, Nerglings. Today we're taking a look at Chaos Demons, but before we start, be sure to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss an update.
There is nothing quite like the touch of chaos. Anger, disgust, lust and wisdom in all its forms contribute to its manifestation.
Demons in the old world hail from the dread hell-like place called the Realm of Chaos, an alternate dimension which has giant breaches into the material plane. This realm is composed of pure magical energy flowing into the world through the collapsed gates of the Old Ones. The Realm of Chaos powers the spells cast by wizards and sorcerers. It's the very lifeblood of magic. This magical energy is affected by the subconscious minds of men. Their thoughts, fears, and wishes become manifest as living creatures in the Realm of Chaos. Small rifts into the mortal world caused by excesses of emotion or bloodshed may occur anywhere, but it is at the poles of the world that these forces are strongest. The larger the rift in space and time, the more powerful its inhabitants. Similarly, the smaller the rift, the weaker and more fragile the demons that come forth. Furies, monsters with the wings of giant bats, typically come first, followed by small demons like Nerglings, followed by stronger and stronger demons. These demons will stay in the mortal realm until all of the magic that created them is used up. In the realms of the Empire, this is usually a few days, but demons can evidently manifest indefinitely in the warpstone encrusted soil of the Great Northern Chaos Wastes. It is obvious then that the expansion of the Chaos Wastes often heralds incursions of varying scale into the civilized world. Over time, these entities have become immensely powerful, with the greatest of their kind becoming the Chaos Gods. These gods can manifest if there was a big enough rift, but this has not happened in recorded history. Less powerful entities, or demons, are partly tied to the will of the Chaos Gods, but also remain tied to the thoughts of mankind. As most demons serve one of the gods, when the armies of that god go to war, those demons tied to it will often march alongside the army. In the old world, there are 4 major gods of chaos, each with its own personality. Khorne is the god of war and violence. He believes in honour and will not reward those who kill the weak. Unlike the other gods, there are no cults to Khorne in the Empire, and no holy places in his name. This is because Khorne does not see the use of building places of worship when his followers could be practicing their worship of him in battle. The only religious practice of his followers is that of taking the skulls of their fallen enemies. Simply put, every battlefield is a monument to the destruction that Khorne brings. He is portrayed as a large, muscular form clad in jet black armour, adorned with brass. He has the visage of a fierce and snarling dog with curled lips. Khorne dwells in a brass citadel within a great vault, at its black heart reclining on a throne of brass set atop a mountain of skulls, both those of his brave and mighty champions who have died in battle and all those killed in his name. He is a master forger of armour and weapons, so much so that his armour survives an attack from the would-be usurper Skarbrand, who had ambitions to sit atop the brass throne. Khorne's rage knows no bounds, and he is also noted as being the god most willing to engage in combat inside the Realm of Chaos. Khorne's territory in the Realm of Chaos is a vast and hellish, blood-soaked desert where mortals and demons fight desperately in his name. Tzeentch is the god of scheming, ambition and trickery. He is most commonly referred to as the Changer of Ways, or the Raven God. Tzeentch is primarily worshipped by ambitious and intelligent individuals who seek to raise themselves above others by any means necessary. Tzeentch is the most weirdly formed of all of his brothers. his skin crawls with ever-changing faces that leer and mock those who dare look upon him. His actual face is puckered and formed upon his upper torso, so his head and body are one, and above Tzeentch's eyes sprout two sweeping horns that crackle with arcane fire. His territory in the realm of chaos is a great library in the impossible fortress at the centre of a crystalline labyrinth, constantly shifting and changing. None who enter will ever escape with their sanity. Only the Lords of Change, Tzeentch's greater servants, can safely traverse its corridors. His realm lies at the heart of chaos, connecting the realms of the other gods. Tzeentch is not above sullying his hands with the blood of war, though he much prefers to gain victory through guile, cunning and deceit, rather than brute force. The Raven God perceives every event and intention, and from this information his complex and vast mind can determine how each and every possibility will serve to influence the future. Only Tzeentch can see the tapestry of potential futures weaving forward in time like multicoloured threads. For Tzeentch, scheming is not a means to an end, it is the end itself. Contradictory to this, however, is that Tzeentch seeks no ultimatum for his plans, for if he were to reach a true end, then what would a schemer do? Nurgle is the god of disease, pestilence and rot. He is usually called the Lord of Decay, though his followers affectionately refer to him as Father Nurgle, Papa Nurgle, or Grandfather Nurgle, as he is the only one of the Chaos gods who actually cares about the fate of his followers. Nurgle is predominantly worshipped by those who desire to cheat death or to attain immortality. Ironically, since Nurgle is a god of disease, he will afflict those who worship him with terrible infections, unknown diseases and poxes. However, for their efforts they will be rewarded. Immunity to the effects of illness, pain, injury, and even death itself. Nurgle's territory in the realm of chaos is a great garden filled with diseased alien plants and other creatures. At the centre stands Nurgle's mansion, made of rotted wood and crumbling stone, where Nurgle resides. Under mildewed and sagging beams, he labours for untold hours at an iron cauldron, which is said to be large enough to hold all of the world's oceans. It is here that he creates his masterpieces. Day on day, he creates contagions and pestilence. It is then his most loyal creatures, the great and clean ones, that then take his filth to every corner of the old world, with glee. Slaanesh is the god of pleasure, desire, hedonism and indulgence. Usually known as the Darkling Prince or the Prince of Pleasure, Slaanesh can take male, female or hermaphroditic form at will, though he prefers the form of a young, strikingly handsome male. All those who look upon Slaanesh lose their soul and become slaves to his slightest whim. He is worshipped by those who seek pleasure and to indulge themselves, no matter how vile or debauched. Slaanesh's territory in the realm of chaos is a great castle that contains 6 concentric rings. Each ring, as you progress inwards, presents different manners of temptation. The circle of avidity forms the outermost circle, appealing to an intruder's sense of greed. The next circle is that of gluttony, and any who taste a drop of wine or a bite of food from the banquets and rivers will become a bloated fool who will indulge themselves until their body gives out. The third circle is the circle of carnality, where all manner of fleshy pleasures may be sampled. Upon entering the fourth circle, that of megalomania, the traveller is greeted by a cheering crowd, where intruders are tempted with power and its application. Then is the fifth circle, vainglory, a garden with beautiful flowers and heavy thorns. The sixth and final circle is that of indolence, a serene domain of heavenly choirs and perfumed seas. All within this domain seek to lure the senses with level sands and scented winds. The sands are the desiccated husks of those who have succumbed, and the choirs are the tortured souls of those who are lost there. Upon making the journey through this hellish landscape, a traveller can ascend to the seat of Slaanesh's power. Many have tried, and none have yet succeeded. Since demons are made of pure magical energy, they are difficult for weapons of the physical world to destroy. However, certain rituals performed by Imperial warrior priests can assist in their defeat. As the winds of magic fade, so do the powers of demon kind. This can happen at any time. If the demons are overcome by their foes in combat, the magic binding them to the world begins to scatter, and the demons can be banished back to the realm of chaos. The miniatures shown here are a mixture of followers of all 4 chaos gods: a mighty gargoyle in the form of a bloodthirster, a bloated beast in the form of a great unclean one, a lithe and bizarre keeper of secrets, and a wily old lord of change in the shape of a bird. Whilst they are an interesting bunch, it is the use of demons throughout the army that really makes the whole thing pop. The strong looking red demon with the lady over his shoulder is the leader of a regiment of chaos warriors. The powerful plague bearer is a character that supports a mighty chaos champion. The head on legs is a minion for a chaos lord. There is of course the beast that pulls my chaos dwarf's baggage train. Finally, there is a strange bug-like monster with the face of a beautiful woman. I absolutely plan to build and field some more demons in the army, seriously considering rebasing my current forces onto 25mm squares actually. Although this may prove one of those moments where it's best left undone for the time being, as there is simply so much to do as it is. I don't want to multiply my workload for the project. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Which model was your favourite and why? Be sure to comment, like and subscribe, and thanks very much for watching. Peace.